This is my starter island that hasn't changed at all since the very first video on my hardcore world. So today I'm looking to fully conquer this island by upgrading existing builds and building a whole bunch of new ones to complete the perfect island base. Okay, and first on my giant stinky list is to upgrade our stick traders over here. They're currently built on the side of a ruined portal, and this structure was definitely meant to be temporary anyway, so it's definitely time to upgrade. And well, to go along with that, we should probably just be upgrading the entire tree farm setup anyway, because right now I'm just kind of planting saplings like wherever I want and just growing trees, and I feel like having like set locations would definitely help enhance the, the overall look of my island here and make it feel a little bit more built up. So I am going to have to chop down every single tree here, which actually works out perfectly because I have absolutely none left back at base. So give me a minute here, I'm gonna chop these bastards down. And choppagus galopagus we did. Once all the spruce and dark oak trees were cleared, I worked on the oak forest. I just felt it'd be easier to visualize everything we could build with these gone, and we can always plant them back in spots after the fact. What the hell is Blood doing out in the middle of the river? Like, bro, you've got a whole village right here to be living in, and you've chosen to just sit right in the middle of the... Like, what are you doing, dude? Well, other than that, we do have good news. The villagers do seem to be a little bit lively over here. Also, I have moved all of the villagers over from my starter base and into here. So we've got all of our librarian traders in here. I've got plenty of room to add in a bunch more. I do just need these guys to actually breed. Like, what are you doing, bro? Everyone's just going for a swim over here. Like, I may have to grab this guy and put him back in his base because I don't like what he's doing over there. Also, very, very good news. Oh my goodness. Look at the state of the island now. Like, holy crap, we actually have a lot more room than I thought to build over here. Like, I'm gonna have to think of a lot more build ideas because I don't think I really had enough for this area. Also, we have got a lot of wood for the projects ahead now. Like, this is everything we've gotten from just harvesting all the logs in my area. And yeah, as you can see, the state of the wood chest, it's not looking too great, but there's a little bit of a rejuicer. Holy crapagus, that is a good little stockpile there. Oh, and I actually forgot about this chest over here. Oh god, we've got a lot of crud in here. Okay, I'm gonna take all of this back over to base and get it sorted out. We're definitely going to be using quite a lot of this in our upgrades here. Okay, so back over at our stick traders here, the first thing I definitely need to get sorted is, well, replacing all of this back to grass, as well as getting rid of this giant lump of netherrack in my world. Like, it's very unsightly. And well, another thing as well is we don't actually need to keep these guys right here. We can, of course, just add our tree farm pretty much anywhere. So I need to do some thinking and some figuring out on whether this, like, you know, is a good spot or if I should probably move them somewhere else in this area. Like, even just this low spot down here, it's already quite nice and flat. And like, just having like the river there lined with trees would look really awesome. Another thing as well is I think I definitely want to upgrade like this kind of lean-to, and I want to give them basically a mini version of like this trading hall, but maybe like something a little bit different. But I essentially want them to actually have a proper building to live in, and so they're not getting scared crapless from, you know, zombies every night. So what I might actually do to make this whole process easier is just get everyone into a bit of a boat. In you get, boys. And with everyone in, we don't really have to worry about them running away at all. So I am just going to chuck some leads on them, and I might just move them to a safe space, like, I don't know, just next to my base or something for now. Come on, fellas. Yeah, that should be good enough there. All right, now we pretty much just have free reign to go ahead and destroy all of this stuff. And so I slowly worked around the entire area, replacing all of the netherrack and podzol with dirt, keeping the structure of the original landscape intact. Okay, and there we have it. The area is pristine and beautiful. It's ready to be bloody worked on, so let's get to working. And first up, I want to get a little bit of some planning done. I have done a little bit of a sketch in Photoshop here with my ideas on how I want to lay out everything. Well, not everything, most things. Holy crap, dude, look at the cow farm. This thing's going bloody well good. Look at that. We might have to get some expanding done to that. I do definitely also want to add in some sheeps as well, just so I don't have to keep going all the way over to that field to shear them. It's getting a little bit annoying. So to start off, why don't we actually, you know, expand the cow farm here? I want to essentially continue this pen all the way down this way, probably to about here. Okay, and I've run out. God's sake. So there we go, a little something like that. We're now taking up like this whole area, and then I essentially just want to divide this in two for sheeps and for cows. So we may as well just do this from here. I think I do want the cows area to be a little bit bigger than the sheep because, well, we've got a lot of cows, okay? Okay, so that right there is just about going going to do it, let's set these guys, well, not free, but set them into their very much larger pen now. Oh god, okay, we're probably going to be assaulting a couple cows while we're doing this. Sorry guys. There we go, that is much better. You guys have got plenty more space now. And well, I think next on the list is going to be leading our sheep over here. Okay, that was a wicked pain in the butt, let me tell you. Dude, trying to right-click a lead on the front of the boat without just pulling the sheep out is the most frustrating thing ever. Like, the hitboxes actually suck for these. Like, how am I not destroying the boat right here? I'm clicking the boat. Please fix it. And look, I've just hit all of my sheep because of that. Oh, mate, like, this is not great. No, bro. I've just killed 2 sheep because of this. Oh, dude, I don't know if that's a skill issue or what. Like, how am I not... I'm hitting my sheep doing that. I guess maybe just hit the middle of the boat at... Bro. But now, we have got, well, at least 4 sheep here that we can just start breeding. I mean, it's not like I need wool right now, so it's not the end of the world. But we'll go ahead and grab out some more wheat, and we'll just get these guys started. There you go, fellas. I need your XP from in my axe. Give them some privacy, of course. Oh, look at that. We've got 2 cute little... that... Dude looks like a clown. He's got a little clown nose. What is going on there? That's kind of cute though. So there is our expanded animal pens. I think now, yeah, I think what we're going to do is actually have the path running from, like, branching off of here and probably just running along here and connecting back up to the bridge. And then I reckon this whole stretch of land here will actually be for the dark oak trees. Bro, this guy is in the middle of the water again. What? What are you doing? I don't know what this guy is doing, dude. He wants a new life or something. He's sick of it. Okay, and well, I've got all of my saplings here, and so let's actually just go ahead and designate this whole area to dark oak by just, well, planting in a bunch of dark oak trees. I would eventually love to have these kind of have hoppers all around them to pick up all the saplings and stuff so I don't have to manually do it. But, well, until we kind of get an actual iron farm set up, yeah, that's not really going to happen because I have nowhere near enough iron to be doing anything of the sort at the moment. There we go. There is all of our dark oak saplings taking up this patch of land nicely. I think the next step is definitely going to be adding in this pathway here so that we can figure out, you know, the placement of stuff a little bit better. I decided on branching the path off right here and also transitioned it into textured stone, andesite, and stone bricks. I just felt this path contrasted more with the surrounding grass for this area and would look overall nicer. No, oh my stinking god. Okay, they haven't killed anyone, but dude, there is so many men. Oh, holy crap, dude. Oh, bro, how am I supposed to kill all of these guys? How do you prevent this from happening? Like, that is so many men, it's ridiculous. Dude, lucky they didn't kill any of my guys there. I would have been absolutely devastated. This is where the sharpness sword actually does wonders. Like, I only have to 2-hit king hit these freaking guys. Dude, that was bad. I wonder if these guys have lowered trades now because they've been hit. No, okay. It must only be by me. If they're hit by me, their trades are lowered. But dude, there we go. The pathway has been added. This is going to be like the main path. We're probably going to add a couple more. So, but yeah, dude, we like finally have a path connected up to this bridge. I've been jumping over this gap of water here so many times. So I'm glad that that is finally hooked up and ready to go. That also gives us quite a bit more space here to add in some more dark oak trees. I just, you know, I've run out of bloody well saplings to do that. But yeah, that also gives us a nice little spot right here, I think, is where I want to add in my little trader guys. You know what I'm saying? So I've got a stack of dark oak logs here, and this is, you know, it's pretty much time to be adding in this right now. So, dude, why am I can't speak. Yeah, okay, this is where I want to add my little mini trading hall for these guys. So I'm thinking 2 gaps of 3 between the pillars is going to be a nice little bit of a, you know, structure here. Not too big, not too small. I'm pretty happy with that. And then as for length, I do want this to be, you know, quite future-proofed. Like, I don't know how many of these guys I'm eventually going to get, but something as well is I definitely want to add in some farmers as well, just so I don't have to always be chopping trees to get emeralds. I want to have a little bit of a melon farm, and honestly, I think right here in this gap between the hall and this little structure is going to be a really nice place for a bit of a melon farm. So I think we're definitely going to get that sorted out in the near future. And I've already messed up the spacing here. What the hell is going on? So yeah, inside this hall, we're going to need our Fletcher villages. We're going to need a couple of farmer villages as well. So we definitely want to get this future-proofed. And so I'm thinking that is pretty much going to be a good size. Oh, we might even add one more length because why the hell not? And that should be a pretty much perfect shape right there. Yeah, that's going to fill the space quite nicely. Okay, well, I'm going to work on getting these pillars raised up to their final heights, which I'm thinking probably 4 is going to be good. It doesn't need to be too tall of a structure. So I'm going to get these all risen up. Give me a bloody well moment. Okay, and there is the pillars raised. Dude, this is going to be an awesome structure to just walk past, you know, every time I need to go. Oh, I'm excited to get this thing built. And so honestly, I feel like sticking with the current kind of like block palette selection we have going with the island here is going to work well. I think I will differ in the roof a little bit. So that means for the walls, I am pretty much going to be going with some more stripped dark oak logs. I feel like it just, dude, it works absolutely bloody stinking well perfectly with this palette. And we will once again be getting our dark oak fences, fence gates, and I'll chuck a trap door on top of that as well. So there we have it. That is pretty much going to be our wall design. I'm thinking at the front, I don't know if I want to have the entrance like just one entrance in the middle. We can always change it if we need more space. So I think what I will do is have everything open at the front. I reckon that's going to look freaking sick. All right, so I've just crafted up a bunch of stairs and trap doors, and pretty much we're just going to have this along the entire front row. Just a whole bunch of arches. I think that's going to look sick once everything's built out. And then as for the entrance, just to keep the zombies out, I reckon we'll do something a little bit like that. And we'll of course get this added in every single section. Like that. And yeah, well, the rest of this build is going to be pretty much just everything I've already shown you here. So I reckon we will smash out the rest of this as a little bit of a time lapse. Let's get to it. Continuing on, I went around the entire length of the building and finished off the walls, of course having to harvest more wood along the way. Heading up to the roof, I decided on an oak trim with dark oak for the rest of the roof, as well as trying out a few different dormer designs until settling on this smaller one that sits quite low on the roof. After getting some detail work done, I also filled out the floor with textured granite, as well as the ceiling with spruce slabs. Alright, and here it is in all of its glory. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Honestly, my favorite feature is just like adding a different block under the roof here. It looks really nice. I feel like it'd probably look a lot better if it was darker instead of lighter, but honestly, I think that is fine. Heading on inside, as you can see, I have filled out the floor and the ceiling already. Let's go ahead and slap some lanterns in. And now we do have to come up with a design for the kind of holding of all of the different villages. So I do want to keep all of them separate, but we will of course go with a nice compact design, like, you know, having them spaced one apart. I do want to keep a little distance away from the windows, however, so we'll do this for now. And then as for the actual design between all of them to separate them, I don't really know what to do. So at this point, I am pretty much just winging it. So I feel like some stairs would be quite nice between all of these, almost like, you know, a little table to kind of build off of. Let's grab out some fences. Oh, brother, this is gonna look sick. Hold on. Let's get this going. Get some trapdoors and then a slab to make kind of like a little roof almost. And then we can just alternate that back and forth like so. Oh, that's kind of cool. I never really know what to do with kind of this vertical space between it though. Definitely a little bit challenging. But I think what to do in this little gap here would be to add some trap doors. I think that is going to look awesome. Now, as for this, I feel like we should probably strip those. And I don't really know what to do with on top of there either. Okay, and there we have it. There is all of our villages moved over. I've also brought over some new villagers from the village. Okay, I've said village like 8 times, but I've brought these 2 guys over as our little farmers. We of course need to do some initial trades with them to get them to trade melons and or pumpkins. And we've also got room to expand, of course, but I think the next task is going to be creating some little kind of crafting stations. So I'm thinking of using this kind of space here between the windows. I reckon what we could do is have yeah, just a bunch of these things, and then maybe get a couple of chests up like so. We'll grab out the old trap doors and just add a little bit of a shelfagus like that. We could also probably go ahead and like just enclose this whole thing to make it feel a little bit more like a unit. There we go, something like that. And then to finish it off, let's of course add some along the top like that. Yeah, that's looking sweet. We could chuck a lantern in here. We could probably get a couple of other details. Speaking of, in here, my little saccagus, I have some of these amethyst things. Oh, that's looking good. We, of course, can probably get some flower pots. Let me go get some. All right, and there we have it. That is just about going to complete the interior and pretty much this whole area of our island now. We've expanded our animals, we've moved over one of the tree farms, and we've added a whole brand spanking new beautiful building for our traders on this side of the river. And actually, oh, I almost forgot. We, of course, do still have this area that I want to turn into either a melon or a pumpkin farm. I actually don't know which is better for trading, and I actually don't know which I have. I do have melons. Okay, so it looks like we're probably gonna be settling with melons. I'm gonna go ahead and turn all of these into seeds and pretty much get started building a big old stinking melon farm in this little spot. Now, I have had this lava here for a while, which we're actually going to be finally using in this episode. I am very, very excited to finally make, you know, a farm with these. You probably know it's a dripstone lava farm, of course. This is pretty much all the coal I have left. I have been using leaf litter as my fuel, and let me tell you, it stinks. I'm excited to finally upgrade to some freaking lava, dude. It's gonna be good. But for now, we'll chuck those away in there. Okay, well, for our melon farm, I do pretty much just want to smoothen out the land here, pretty much. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be making like a whole building for this or anything too crazy. I just want like a simple outdoor crop farm. So, yeah, I'm gonna get to it. So for this farm, I ended up making it 3-tiered, with each one being on a higher level. And I know we're not gonna get many melons from this setup, so I'll definitely make another larger dedicated one if needed. Okay, and there is our melon farm not quite done. Actually, oh, we've got a new one. We might be able to get it done. Yeah, mate, it's looking good. Oh, there we go. The perfect amount. There we go. It is all planted in, looking beautiful. I do want to add like a little bit of kind of space up here to, you know, store melons, craft melons, you know, all sorts. And I might even throw a couple of composters up here just for decorational purposes. Oh, dude, this is looking a bit weird, isn't it? Okay, we're gonna have to fix this up. Okay, something like this, because I want to have it here so it actually blocks these melons from growing on this side, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like something like that might be a little bit nicer there. We can throw a lantern on top of there. It would be nice to have the pathway kind of, you know, extend over here, but for now, I can't be bothered grabbing any pathway blocks. But yeah, dude, that is just about going to complete this entire section of my island. Like, from here up until the bridge, it's done. Like, we still have this whole area we gotta fill out, of course. And I have a lot of ideas on my mind, so I'm going to kind of consolidate my thoughts, and I'll be back once I know exactly what to do next. All right, so I actually ended up building another pathway leading up this hill towards my base, and I then used the inside of that area to build out our sugarcane farm. Again, I didn't go for a utilitarian design. Aesthetics are definitely way more important to me, so I built it conforming to the landscape. I then also finished off the path leading to my base. Okay, and that leads on nicely to the next area that I want to build out, which is going to be our lava dripstone farm. And, well, I've come down here because I actually have a nice little thing to be building in maybe one of these corners, and that is going to be a little bit of an actual dripstone farm itself, you know, to get more dripstone, not the lava part. So what I want to do is just add a bunch of these all along the tops along here. Oh my god, that is the perfect amount. Like, you can't make these things up, dude. We're going to add all of our dripstones on, and then I do need to get, some spruce trapdoors. Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna do the corner. That's gonna be a pain. Oh my god, I know exactly how I'm gonna do the corner, and it's gonna be perfect, kind of. So instead of putting them on the outside, which is what I was gonna do, so like this, we can actually just put them on the inside, and that's not gonna, you know, block up this corner, so that's gonna work freaking perfectly. Okay, and with all of that covered back up, that is actually looking kind of sweet. Now this will passively just grow our dripstones from the top and the bottom, and that is going to be how we're gonna get the rest of our dripstone, because I do not remember where any dripstone caves are in this world. And while heading back up to the base, I do want to, yeah, make everything else that we need for these dripstone farms. I'm not going to be able to get the entire thing done, unfortunately, because I just simply do not have enough iron for this. I have just about 2 stacks here, which, man, is not going to get us a lot of cauldrons, let me tell you. What's that? 17, and that's all of my iron. We're definitely going to have to get fortune if we want to get more. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and use all of that there. And we can at least use this to kind of lay out the farm and how we want it to look. So usually with these, I go for like maybe groups of 4 or even like 6 or something like that, just to make it easy, you know, when it comes to adding the trapdoors around the lava sources up there. And yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. I think just as placeholders for now, I'll use some stone. And so in the end, we'll probably end up with, you know, this kind of shape, and that'll repeat all the way down to the end here. And I mean, we can even extend that as far out as we want, of course. So this is probably gonna be the only like unfinished build in this, because I simply just, oh, you know what? I am going to go work on getting fortune, okay? I'm going to see if I can get a fortune book, and we're going to make another god pickaxe. That's definitely what I'm going to do. Now, I'm going to need to trade a lot more stuff and get a lot more emeralds. Now, the melons are coming along nicely, but we can't even use these to trade yet. I need to level up these villages like 2 more times in order to get a melon trade here. Okay, well, I'm probably just going to stick to the old wood stick trades for now. I'm going to work on getting a fortune villager as well. So yeah, I'm going to smash out all of this boring crap, and you will see me next, hopefully with, you know, some good books ready to enchant this pickaxe. Okay, I am back after about like half an hour to an hour of work, and I have very good news. Look at this, fortune 3, and we've got the whole spread ready to go. Let's throw all this stuff on and make the god ore mining pickaxe. With efficiency, of course. Bang, and I'm now level 1. Holy crap, dude. I was almost level 30. All right, well, it is officially time to bust this thing out and go mine a bunch of iron. Because, wow, I need a lot, okay? As you can see before, 2 stacks of iron basically didn't even get us close to finishing. So, oh, mate. You know what I might even do is head over to the giant cave entrance up on the hill, like over this way, over on that hill. And I'm just going to go on an absolute rampage mining iron, and I will start recording if anything interesting happens, trust me. But if not, you will see me back here with a bunch of iron, ready to bloody rip. Okay, I have extremely good news. I've mined like 4 freaking patches of iron, and look at this. We've already got just over a stack, and even more good news, I have found some dripstone, so we do not have to wait for it to grow. Oh, that's going to be so good. Look at all of that. Now, I will still keep that little growth chamber there because I think it's a nice little like thing that takes up the space in my underground base. So why the hell not? Dude, but also I have been like almost killed by creepers, maybe like 3 or 4 times already down here. Like I'm listening to a podcast at the moment, so I can't like I'm not fully like aware of my surroundings. And dude, let me tell you, I have come close to death every single time. And yeah, it's getting a little bit out of hand. So usually I would not like use a shield or a totem of undying because like, you know, what's the point of playing hardcore if you're just not even going to come close to death ever, you know? But this is one of the times where I would definitely use it if I had it, but I don't. So we're just living life on the edge out here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but yeah, dude, if there was more iron down here, I would basically be done already because holy crap, there is not a lot of iron around these parts. Like it is just mostly copper, but the fortune is definitely speeding this up quite nicely. Look at that. We're at a stack and a half now already. I'm probably going to try and end up getting maybe like 5 or 6, maybe even 6 or 7, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep at it and I will report back soon. Okay, I am back from an absolutely ridiculous mining session. Just take a look at this, okay? This is how many diamonds we've ended up with. And every single one of these furnaces has a stack of iron smelting away. Yeah, it was a productive session to say the bloody least. Heading back out here, I have gone ahead and made some polished andesite. Also grabbed a bunch more dripstone. What I want to do is actually start building the tops of all of these. And I'm just going to go with a pretty simple design. I'm pretty sure it's the exact design I've done like every single time I've made one of these farms, okay? It is nice and aesthetic, but it's not like, it's nothing too crazy, okay? So all I'm gonna do is just add a row of blocks on top of here, and then just add a bunch of trapdoors kind of away from these. And then we can go ahead and just destroy this entire top row, close all of these up. Now we can go ahead and grab our lava buckets, and I'm pretty sure that these won't burn. I'm hoping. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't burn, but I'm pretty sure I've used these in the past and they haven't burned. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Then what we're gonna do is just add our dripstone on here, and then that should slowly accumulate our bunch of lava for us to use in our furnaces. And yeah, I'm pretty much just going to add this above every single one of these sections. And that is basically the lava dripstone farm here. Also, as you might be able to see, I have added our spruce farm back in over here. I feel like just back here is a nice little tucked away spot. I don't want like, I don't know, just a patch of massive trees like right in the middle of the area. I think having them all the way at the back is a bit of a nicer spot for that. And yeah, so I'm just gonna work away on this and hopefully get this entire thing filled out. Alright, so once the iron was done, I crafted up all the cauldrons, placed them in, and also worked on getting the above platforms, trapdoors, and lava all built out. All right, and that is looking sick. Yeah, we're in my replay mod file here because I want to just take a look at the overall island so far. And dude, like that is coming along nicely. We've filled out this like entire strip of the island here. All we have left is just this area to go. And bro, I am super excited for what I have planned. I think next we're gonna get into a little bit of a mining operation, kind of taking up this section. And along the water here, we're gonna have just oak forest, you know? Oh, I'm super excited. So let's get back into the world. Okay, back in the world, we now have this area to work with for our mining operation. Oh, dude, I tell you what, I'm sick of hearing mobs underneath me every time I'm at this spot. It's time to get in there. Like, oh, bro, I put a lantern down here. Clearly, it's not enough. There's 2 lanterns down here and a baby drowned. What the? Oh! Okay. How many? What is that? I've never seen that creature in my life. They're all holding dirt blocks from when I was doing my excavating. Jesus Christ, they've been here for a while then. Right, well, I'm gonna have to place a bit more light down here, I guess. Oh! Okay. Cover that up. I just do not feel like dealing with that. Okay, well, hopefully that problem is dealt with for the most part. Now, just before we get started on the mining operation, I do just want to line the kind of coastline here with a bunch of oak trees. Just, you know, this is where we're going to be harvesting oak whenever we need it. And I want to get this kind of like penciled in before anything else, just so we kind of know how much area we have to work with our brand spanking new mining operation. So I'll have this probably be 2 trees wide and just kind of span up along this way. Probably just like, honestly, the entire length of the coastline, because oak trees are a little bit of a pain to harvest in that we only get like 5 logs from one, so the more the merrier. And we're gonna just have this come all the way up here and meet up to our spruce trees. Okay, and now back at the mining operation, we do definitely have a little bit of an odd area to work with for this. Like, it's not gonna be easy. So what I'm thinking of doing, actually, this thought has just entered my cranium right now, and that is to turn this side of the hill here into basically a cliff. So I think what we could do is excavate up to maybe here and then just flatten this all down, and then up on the top half we can essentially just bring out the land to this kind of face here for the most part. And that'll kind of give us 2 nice flat kind of areas to work on. And another thing is this also gives us a nice little face to add in a mine entrance if we want to, you know, add one in like that. I'm not exactly sure just yet. Again, I have no freaking plans for this whatsoever. So yeah, I'm just kind of winging everything at the moment. All right, so let's get this entire bottom portion flattened. I'm gonna have to fix up this area a little bit here. Probably something like that is gonna be fine. Okay, so that gives us a lot more kind of usable area here. Like, we can actually use these parts of the hills now. I do still need to flatten this off, but we'll just get to that when we get up there, bloody hell. Okay, let's clear off some grass. I definitely think we're going to be needing like a nice kind of surface for this mine area, okay? I do not want just grass and dirt, and I don't exactly want to just kind of copy the pathway either, because it's just going to look like pathway. I want it to be like its own thing, so I'm thinking probably a mixture of maybe cobblestone and andesite. I know we do have andesite in here, but mixed with cobble, it should be a decent contrast from the pathway. So I am going to head back down to my big giant water cave and get some more andesite. But dude, getting cobble is so much easier with this pickaxe now. Like, oh, it's so good. Dude, the next upgrade is pretty much going to be like, you know, of course, getting a better sword, getting enchanted armor, but after that, like, oh god, I don't have a door. What am I doing? Oh no, I'm gonna take some damage here. God, okay. Yeah, the next upgrade is going to be netherite, which, honestly, I do not remember the last time I had netherite anything. That is going to be sick. Okay, I'm going to go take care of getting all of these blocks, and I will just meet you straight back up at the mining operation area. Okay, I am back and with some building blocks. You can also see these trees are nicely kind of like lining the area as well. I feel like that one might be a little bit too close, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm thinking I want to branch this off of the path probably right here. Now, I don't want it to be like directly connected to the path for like the whole length. So I'm going to add this little kind of separation of maybe 2 blocks, and then we'll start the actual like area of the mine entrance. And now I'm just going to kind of pencil in like the outline of where I want this to kind of lead to. I feel like all the way out here is going to be quite stinking nice. I think I'll have a little bit of grass kind of lead in, and then we will cap it off there, and that should be good. And now I'm pretty much just going to, yeah, clear out all of this grass and replace it with our textured cobblestone slabs and andesite. Okay, and there's our foundation to work with all done. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and figure out our little mine entrance off to the side here. So for this, I kind of want to emulate a design that I did in my last video, which was basically building 100 different details, where I did make some mine entrances. And I made one in this kind of style using some trapdoors kind of facing each other, and that gives us some nice like thin pillars there to work with. Then as for the roof of this, we can do something like this, and actually what I did do in that video is use some stairs. So let's grab some stairs, and we're just going to replace these ones with some stairs, maybe a little bit like that. Ooh, and what we could maybe do is add some more facing away from that one as well. Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, there we go. It's just like a super simple, like mini mine entrance almost. It kind of fits this space perfectly because I don't really want to make that hill 1 block higher there. So I think that actually fits in very nicely. Next thing we can do, add a little bit of a lantern right there. And then of course, just go ahead and start excavating the inside of this, because this is of course where our mine entrance is going to be and lead down to, you know, the actual mine itself. Sorry, I could have definitely explained that a little bit better. Okay, so I'll work on the actual like staircase bit later, but that's added in for now, and that is looking great. Now, the next thing we need to do is, of course, fill out the rest of this space, and I'm thinking over here is going to be the perfect spot for, you guessed it, a bloody stinking crane. So let's get a little bit of a main stalkagus raised up here. I don't want it to be too big, like I don't want it to be comically large for the area, so, or maybe even 1 block higher would be perfect. Bang. And then, unlike in that video, if you've watched it, where I made a rather simple kind of crane, I want to make a bit more of an extravagant one, so I'm going to take the time to go craft up a couple of grindstones, some chains, maybe some copper chains actually. I mean, we do have a lot. We've got more iron than copper now, so maybe we're going to make some iron chains. But yeah, I'm going to craft up everything for this, and I will meet you back there. Okay, I am back with all of the supplies ready to stinking go. So the first thing I want to do is add a grindstone here, and then we're going to throw some chains in front of that, and that's going to kind of help us figure out how big we want that. Oh god, okay. We're gonna have to shift this back a little bit here. Let's maybe put it here instead, and I'm gonna have to have a pretty interesting sleep here up on some bloody chains. Look at the view though. Bloody hell, mate. Okay, straight back to work. Okay, and we will add another grindstone at the end there, but I need like something to build off of course. So I think what we might do is add, I'm just trying to think of the design for this. Let's just go with some slabbingtons first, and then we'll transition down to some trap doors. We might need to extend the slabs out a little further, and bang, like that. Then we'll throw in a grindstone at the end, and then probably 1 more chain. Okay, I made way too many chains for this. Then smack bang in the middle, we'll get just a full block, and then surrounding this is gonna be a whole bunch of these things. Bloody stinking campfires. Bang, bang, bang. Now we'll of course extinguish all of these, and then to make this look a little bit more like an actual platform is we will add some signs surrounding. Again, as you can see, with all of those signs added on, it makes it look a lot more like a little like kind of platform. And yeah, this is probably my favorite detail right here, I'd have to say. Something I don't like, however, is yeah, this top thing. It's definitely got to change. It needs more like height to it. So what we're gonna do is transition to some stairs. So let's pull this back a little further, and then here or somewhere. Yeah, let's go with right here. We're going to transition to some stairs like this, and hopefully that is going to look a little bit better. Now on the back side, we'll do the same thing, except just a little bit shorter, and then we're simply going to add a wall, a full block, and a slab like that. And that's going to be the counterweight there. Now the only thing left to do is to just add like extra details to this. So the first thing I'm thinking is like a little bit of stabilization down here. We might throw like, I don't know, something like that on just to make it look, I don't know, more stable. We can even put some signs on the front and back. And then as we head up, let's maybe just like wrap a couple more of these pillars around with some signs. There we go, pretty much like that. Just adds a little extra depth. And then as we head up to the top, I reckon we get some trap doors on the sides here, and even on the top as well. Yeah, that's nice as. Okay, and I think that is just about gonna do it for our little bit of a crane design. Now I feel like this platform is definitely a little bit disproportionate to the rest of it. Like this should probably be a lot taller and maybe 1 block longer for this kind of size thing, but I don't really know how to make a smaller one that still looks good. So, we're just gonna stick with that. Okay, welcome back. We just had some rain, which is why the floor is a little bit saturated. But I'm back with a bunch of not building blocks, but decoration blocks, okay? So I went and harvested a little bit of copper and a little bit of iron so we can make some proper nice little bit of some ore piles. So let's get the first one over there. Oh, I reckon the second one right stinking here is gonna be, oh, It's gonna be perfect. And then let's get another maybe bit of a mixed one over here. And now to enhance these further, just so they aren't giant blobs of blocks, I do have the trusty slabs and stairs that we can kind of intermingle between all of these. And so we're pretty much just gonna do something a little bit like that to each one. So over here, let's maybe get like a slab there, maybe some stairs like that, a little bit of a slab there. Perfect. Like not everything has to have that, you know, ore texture on it for it to look good. Like it still looks great even with, you know, some different textures added in there, and just kind of helps break up that as well. I mean, it'd probably look even better with some of these blocks as full blocks, but yeah, that's fine for now. And then to top it all off, I do of course have the classic barrels and goddamn stinking well chests. So let's get one of our patented big massive stinking barrels right here, and then let's just kind of like interdisperse a couple of chests and more barrels and everything in between. Back here is kind of like going to be storage for the actual you know, the crane itself. So we'll get a couple more storage blocks interdisperse. Okay, I need to stop using that word like I'm some freaking smart genius. And then let's get a couple more added just about here pretty much. Now, as for lighting, I think we will just go ahead and probably throw some lanterns on top of a couple things here and there, just pretty much like this, and bang, like that. And there we have it. That is the bottom tier of the mining operation here. Looking freaking sweet. I think, or something we could definitely do, that I also did in my previous video, be sure to go watch it if you haven't, is add a little bit of roughness into the pathway by changing some of these over to some stairs like this. Because right now, it's just very flat on the bottom, and I feel like adding some of these here and there is just going to help kind of break that up a little bit. Yeah, dude, so you can see we haven't added too many, but that there just adds a little extra something, you know? And in that same vein, I have another item, hold on. And that block is, of course, some buttons. So, yeah, kind of the inverse of that. They almost look like little stones. Let's maybe get some around the ore piles as well, just as a, you know, little extra detail. And there, not too many, nothing too crazy, okay? But it just adds a little extra. Okay, maybe one more right like here. Yep, okay, that's perfect now. And there we have it. That is the bottom mining operation. I do, of course, need to excavate this out. We'll probably just start the staircase like rightio bloody stinking here. And, you know, this is kind of boring. I will definitely just go ahead and do this in my own time between videos on this world. And would you stinking look at that? There's some iron right here. I did not have to go into my into my water cave to get it. God damn it. But yeah, this will just, of course, go down to deep slate, or hopefully just like some massive cave. That would be perfect. Okay, and well, that leads us up to this top area, which honestly, I don't know if I want this to be mining operation now. I feel like this should be something else, because this is everything that I kind of wanted to get done, and just kind of getting more of it is just, it's not really going to have a purpose or a use. It's just going to look nice pretty much. So I'm going to have a little bit of a think while I continue to expand my dripstone lava farm here and figure out exactly what I want to do. Oh, okay, well, call me bloody boring. I don't really know what else to do with this area, so I think what I'm going to do is add a bunch more freaking stinking melons, okay? I think that's definitely a good permanent or even temporary solution, because it's going to be easy to rip up if I want to replace it, or even half of it or something, with something else. And, you know, it's definitely going to be a good purpose for, you know, trading with our villagers without having to go chop logs. Like, doing this is so much quicker and easier than chopping logs. And we could even make it automatic, you know, sometime in the future if I can really be bothered. Like, I've never been the kind of person to, like, really love making all those automatic farms, like gold farms and melon farms and iron farms and all that stuff. Like, I only like doing it out of necessity, basically. I would much rather just build awesome things all the time and not have to worry about that stuff, to be honest. Yeah, we'll see if we need any of those farms in the future of this world, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna smoothen out this area similar to what I did for the melons, just to have like nice kind of rows of these. So I reckon what I might even do for this first layer is actually raise all of this up by one. And I kind of want to have this, you know, be pretty stinking big. So I might even have it out to like here. So there, I'm gonna have to fill in all of this land here and get it nicely kind of, you know, fitting the melon farms. And I will just go ahead and build the rest of this as a time lapse. So let's get to it. After getting the land all nicely smoothened out, I began adding in all the rows of melons, planting them in a way to ensure they grow in nice even rows for the aesthetics, of course. Alright, and there we have the melon fields all planted and ready to go. We just need to wait for them to grow in, and it's going to look freaking sweet. The next thing that I want to get taken care of is adding just details everywhere, like all along the paths and just, you know, getting this place nice and lively. And so the first thing that I want to add is a little bit of a bench design. Ooh, I think right here is actually going to be the perfect stinking spot for this. So let's get a nice 3 wide one added here. And yeah, literally just last night is when they announced the cushions. That was probably 2 weeks ago, you know, by the time I've uploaded this video. That's like just, I don't know, that's how I work with my videos, you know. So once they actually release that update, I will be able to replace all of these with some actual cushions, and that is going to be sick. Now, the next thing I want to do is come up with a little bit of a lamppost design. Now, I'm not exactly claiming, you know, this to be my design, but you know, I've seen ones where they use hoppers kind of pointing down and then they attach the lantern to that. So I want to kind of make my own version of that. So let's get a nice and tall bit of like a grand kind of lamppost here. All the way at the top, let's go ahead and make a crafting table because I need to make some slabs. Let's just see how it looks like this, you know, just the classic design with the slab and the trapdoors, but instead we will just add some hoppers like that, and then we can add our lanterns hanging off of those hoppers like so. Yeah, I think that looks okay. I feel like if we had that matching kind of metal color that we could use as slabs and trapdoors, it would look a lot nicer. But unfortunately, that's probably just going to be as good as it gets right there. Yeah, I like that design. That's cool. I I only have 2 more hoppers because yeah, I didn't want to waste really too much iron on these aesthetic things. Like, I think we'll probably get two main lampposts, and then the rest can just kind of be smaller variants. So I reckon another one right here would be perfect. All right, there we go. Let's throw our hoppers on, preferably in the right spot. Bang, and then we'll throw on our copper lanterns. Perfect, dude. That's looking sweet. Now, I would really love to get one more of these bench designs added, and honestly, I think right here is just going to be another perfect spot. It is kind of close to the other one, but, you know, oh well. There we go. That's looking sweet as. Then what we could probably add next to this is just a smaller lamppost design. I'll probably just go with something nice and simple like that. And then just beside it here, I think we have a nice space to just kind of add in a bunch of random details, like another big barrel like this, maybe some sprinkled chests and some more barrels kind of surrounding like that. I feel like just having storage things kind of fits nicely with, you know, the mining area being so close. They would just kind of, you know, spill out over into this area as well. Let's get maybe another lamp post added over here by the bridge. And yeah, dude, this area is actually starting to feel like a proper like island. Like, this is freaking sweet. I love it, dude. Let's get another lamp post over here. Now, there are a couple of spots here and there where I do definitely need to connect up the pathway still, and like a little couple weird things with the pathway here. Like, this should probably just be connected as well. Like, I might even just turn this into like a big kind of crossroads kind of square thing. I don't exactly know. And another thing as well is I really need to get this farm filled out. So first up, let's go ahead and connect this up nicely to our little entrance here. Nothing too bloody crazy. I think what I'll do here instead is actually just add another staircase. Okay, there we go. That is perfect. Well, it's not perfect. I mean, it could definitely be better, but that is, yeah, it works. And now, yeah, these carrots are in some freaking desperate need of expanding here. So let's go ahead and just get this done real quick. Okay, and there we have it. The carrot farm is finally all done and planted. Holy crap, I definitely should have just done that in the very first video on this world. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. And yeah, at least it's finally done. I'm gonna take these carrots and use these to level up our farming villages over here. Okay, there we go. There's our first farmer leveled up. We do need to level him up one more time, which yeah, it's gonna take a lot. Ooh, we could even do this trade just to get pumpkin pies. Like, that's decent food there. And yeah, this guy, I still need to cycle his trades. Okay, there we have it. We have both farmers now trading carrots, and they're both leveled up as well. We just need to, you know, continue to level them up a little bit more to get those melon trades. But dude, that is going to be so good. I definitely probably will need to get a third one, and probably definitely more of them. But yeah, dude, that is just about going to do it for this video. Like, my island is pretty much done now. There are some spots here and there where we could definitely still get some improvements done, but I just don't really know what to do, like for that melon farm as well. So be sure to leave your ideas down in the comments for other things we could do for this island. As always, the world download is available on my Patreon, so you can play on this world for yourself. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.